Rex Tillerson, the CEO of ExxonMobil, had his hearing to be Secretary of State start yesterday, and he's already made multiple ridiculous claims. So, when asked if Saudi Arabia violates human rights, very simple question. Listen to what he said. When you designate someone or label someone, is that the most effective way to have progress be made in Saudi Arabia or any other country? There seems to be some misunderstanding that I see the world through a different lens. I'm also clear-eyed and realistic about dealing in cultures. What I wouldn't want it to do is take some kind of precipitous action that suddenly causes the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to interrupt that. So, he's doing the functional equivalent of hey, does Saudi Arabia violate human rights? Human rights. Human rights. Human rights. What is that? When you designate someone or label someone, is that the most effective way to do? There seems to be a misunderstanding in viewing the world through a different lens. There are different cultures in the world. So, Rex Tillerson, are you a cultural relativist? Is that what I'm getting from it? Well, look, bro, they do it differently over there, we do it differently over here, and it's like totally cool, bro. So if you want to behead people in the public square and treat women as second-class citizens and say all atheists are terrorists, I mean, that's not worse, it's just like different, bro. Who are you to judge, bro? Is that who you are? You're a cultural relativist? You're a fucking, like, weird hippie from the 1970s? What a stupid fucking answer. We know why he's giving this answer. Business. Money. You know, he doesn't want to ruin financial deals with Saudi Arabia and take one of our top allies and isolate them, and so he's doing the tap dance. But this shows you, I love this answer because it shows you, like, you don't think this is the prevailing wisdom in Washington on the issue of Saudi Arabia? Of course it is. Of course it is. That's why they're still one of our top allies. So the idea is, if you're our ally, you can do whatever you want to do, and we're not going to be mad at you. We claim to, look, we're the world police. We believe in human rights and freedom and democracy. Well, what about the fact that your top ally believes in the opposite of human rights and freedom and democracy? Well, look, cultures are different, and we got to be tolerant of other cultures, including tolerant of intolerance in other cultures. Wait, which is it? Do you care about human rights and freedom and democracy, or do you not? Do you care about it, or do you not? Well, we care about it, except we don't care about it when it's our allies. But we care about it! No, this is the fundamental contradictions at the heart of U.S. empire, and it's being exposed right here in front of the world. Now, furthermore, he also wouldn't call Rodrigo Duterte, the Philippines president, a human rights violator. Rodrigo Duterte is the guy who repeatedly said, I'm going to kill drug users, I'm going to kill drug addicts, I'm going to kill drug sellers, I'm going to kill anybody who's involved in drugs, I kill them. I'm not just going to kill them, you're going to kill them. I want you to kill them, and don't worry, the police department is not going to crack down on you. I am in favor of you slaughtering these people. And then, guess what? Thousands of them have died. Over 2,000 people have been killed. So he's calling for a flat-out genocide of drug users, and this guy's like, human rights. You know, human rights are in the eye of the beholder. As the great philosopher Descartes once said, just say they're fucking violators of human rights. They're the most obvious violators of human rights ever. Ever. And then also, by the way, just to add another little cherry on top to the story here, Rodrigo Duterte, we reported the story the other day. Apparently he was, and maybe still is, addicted to fentanyl, one of the most powerful drugs in the world. So, yeah, of course, I'm against drug users. Let's kill them all. Because he's behind the scenes like, oh, give me my fentanyl, bro. Oh, I'm so high right now. So it's deep hypocrisy. But there you have it, our next Secretary of State. By the way, allow me to be crystal clear about my take on Rex Tillerson. Should he be Secretary of State? No. Why shouldn't he be Secretary of State? He was the CEO of ExxonMobil, like, forever. So there's so many built-in conflicts of interest with that you could never override. I mean, this guy has deep ties to all these countries around the world because he's done business deals with them. Now, some might say that's a good thing. No, it's a bad thing for this exact reason, because he would overlook things like massive human rights violations because, look, they're a good business partner, so we'll look the other way while they act like terrorists. So deep, incredible financial conflicts of interest. And furthermore, connect the dots for me a little bit here. Let's take the oil. Let's take the oil. Let's take the oil. Let's take the oil, as Donald Trump said all the time during the campaign and before the campaign. And now he picked the CEO of ExxonMobil to be Secretary of State. I wonder if he plans on taking the oil and jacking natural resources, not just from the Middle East, but I would venture to say probably anywhere. They're probably going more full scale like the Cold War than we could imagine. So, during the Cold War, what do? It was a hot war in many respects because we toppled South American governments, for example. Obviously, we went to Vietnam. So our argument was, no, if one of these tiny little random nations falls to socialism or communism, well, then it's going to be in Nebraska in like 17 minutes, so we have to fight it everywhere. So we'd massacre civilians and we'd overthrow democratic governments and put in fascist puppets because communism is so bad, we got to do it. But what was that really about? It was a mask for imperialism and us for business interests and us jacking natural resources. I have a feeling that under a guy like Rex Tillerson with Donald Trump at the helm and John Bolton as Deputy Secretary of State, the most hawkish neocon ever, that they're going to be doing a lot more stuff like that. The overt, blatant, we're just going to topple countries and take what we want. Because Trump told you he wanted to do it, and Rex Tillerson is the CEO of ExxonMobil. He has the most incentive of anybody to want to do shit like that. So this is disastrous. And also, by the way, I love how half the hearing was him having to distance himself from all the things that Trump says that buck the establishment narrative. So with Trump not being as hawkish against Russia, they were asking Tillerson, but you're hawkish against Russia, right? But you believe in NATO, and you want to build up NATO troops on the border of Russia and further escalate maybe to World War III. You want to do that, right? You want to maybe start World War III, right? I know Trump doesn't, but you want to. And what did Tillerson do? Like a bitch. Yes. No, yes. Russia, terrible, horrible, enemy state, and we got to be vigilant. And yes, we need NATO. And yes, what they're doing in Syria is wrong. And yes. Yeah. Oh, Russia, bad. So there we go. Even the few things about Trump that we thought, well, maybe decent, those things are long gone. The idea of, hey, let's not do intervention. Deputy Secretary of State John Bolton, and you think they're not going to try to do intervention? Really? Trump saying, hey, maybe we don't get into a war with Russia. Now every one of his picks around him has to genuflect to the CIA and to the hawkish elements in our government and say, no, we want to do war with them. So this is a sad situation that we're in, and I feel like none of these people should be in any of the positions they are in.